bringing you the latest news from Coronado Athletics. This is the Mustang Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Monday evening. Welcome to the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. It's Monday night national championship night if you're a college basketball fan, which I am. I'm a dude from Kansas. I couldn't help it. But we're going to talk high school sports leading up to that. I believe the national championship game is on 100.7 The Score after us, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about the next hour and a half. Monday nights on the High School Fan Zone are LASD nights. So we go Coronado. I'll make sure I get this right because I sent out the wrong information earlier. Coronado, Estacado, Lubbock High, and Monterey in that order every Monday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m. after Thanksgiving. As one of my guests knows, during the football season, we get to talk a little bit longer. I can't remember what night Coronado comes on in those nights. I'm going to have to refresh my memory. Mm-hmm. We jump into the Mustang Fan Zone, start right away. For those of you listening on radio, I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves so you know them by voice and also so I can say the young lady's name correctly if I get it drilled into my head enough here. So from left to right if you're watching on TV.
Amy Withrow, head girls track coach at Coronado.
Oh. Zanijah Harris.
Zanijah. All right, I'm going to try to keep that in my head here.
Alan Gant.
Alan Gant has been here before, so he's been tasked with hitting lead off here. Alan, you're an old pro at this. Did you come on twice during football season?
No, just once.
Okay, but you know me well enough that you can talk. We can hang out and talk a little bit, and Zanijah can get used to us.
Yes, sir.
These two are both here, Amy, because both of them have qualified in two individual events, and then Alan's in a relay. I'm not sure if you're a diehard track fan, you understand that at this point of the season, if you're still running, you're still competing, it's a big deal. You guys have area this week, and then go to regionals, and then from there you go to the big one in Austin. I know you introduced yourself as a girls coach, but I know you know Alan as well. These two, we were just talking to Brad Moran out there. What makes these two unique and special? Why are they sitting here with us tonight?
I've been asked that question many times this track season, and there are many words that come to my mind, but the number one word that comes to my mind that describes both Zanijah and Alan is humility. They are two very humbled athletes. I have watched every single race this track season, and they don't like the attention about themselves. They're never satisfied. They want to go and compete. They want to make the best effort, give the best effort, and they're humble about it. And I think that's what makes them so unique, because you get to be running 10-2, you could be pretty cocky. Running, 2:16, you can be pretty cocky, but they put their heads down and they go to work, and I think they thrive off each other as well. They're good friends, and so to see that at a track meet, just humility is really important. I think that's what makes them the most unique.
I will vouch for Alan for that on the football field because we live in a different era. There's always a little bit of peacock and guys who get a little full of themselves at time on the football field. Every time I watch this young man, he does what he does, hands the ball to an official, and goes back and goes to work. And that's refreshing to me. I think even your how long was your touchdown run?
75
yards.
Yes, sir.
And I think you could have run like 300 or 400 yards, and nobody was going to catch you that night. You're in the 100 and 200 individually, which
sir.
is they separate them enough where that's not as tough as it could be. Watching you in football, there's no question why you're in those two events. Why? But let me have you explain why do you excel in those two events?
The 200 because I just have a drive for it really because like the competition I be going against, and in the 100 I just love going against like Sad and them, and they drive me to like run hard and stuff and just bring competition.
I showed this photo to Corin last week. He was in here talking Monterey football. This is one of my favorite photos we had. It's flip it around and show. It's Corin Boyd, Allen, and Cedric Ross all about to cross the finish line. That was a great race, it looked like.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask Zanijah a very similar question about this in a minute. How much does it push you to have guys that will run with you step for step like that?
It's a blessing, really, because they just want to succeed, and I want to see them succeed just like me. So, like, it's really a blessing for that.
Zanijah, you're more distance runners, which I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell Reese Pena every time she comes in. You guys are crazy running distance. Like when I ran much younger, skinnier than I am now, I ran sprints because I did not want any part of being on that track any longer than I had to be. When did you start running distance? When did that become your thing?
I started running distance when I was in 5th grade, and I did the pacer test. And so I ran like 100 down and back the basketball court. So that's when I knew I was like going to be distance. Yeah.
Now I mentioned Reese, and I mentioned to Alan, he's had competition. You and Reese, this has been going on for 3 or 4 years. We're sort of down to the last 3 or 4 chapters of a great story with you two, and Sydney Smothers is the other. There's the 3 of you have kind of all competed. It's kind of cool to have you guys all in there together. How much do you guys kind of feed off each other when you're on because you're on the track a lot longer racing than they are. They can't think about it too much. How much do you does it help you to have Reese push you and you push Reese and Sydney and vice versa?
I feel like, yeah, it does. When it comes to us two, everybody just expect one or the other to win. And I feel like we do push each other, and I actually enjoy it. Like, I actually enjoy running with her because it helps me push myself, and knowing that, like, they're so worried about me instead of, like, them running their own race. So, like, when I'm behind her, I guess that pushes her too. So us pushing each other, I feel like that helps a lot.
And which 2 events are you running in the area? And just to make sure, area meet is Friday at Plains Capital Park. Starts early. Are you in the 3,200?
No, sir.
No, okay. So you can sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to get up at the crack of dawn. But what 2 events are you qualified in?
The 800 meters and the 1,600 meter.
And those will Reese be in those 2? Or I know she runs the 3,200.
Yes.
She's in all 3. So you got her last fall. I told you she was coming in. She's if she's listening, she's going to be mad that I said. But you got her last fall. You went to state and cross country, correct?
Correct.
And she did not have her best day, which I know Reese well enough that she probably will kick me under the table maybe once, but not twice. That is going to fire her up. It's going to sound weird. Does it fire you up to know that she's going to be trying to push to run her absolute best times ever on Friday?
Honestly, I did let it get to me, but like I just came to it like I've been running the 800 longer than she has, and I know like what comes with it, and I know like how to run it. I just need to like focus on myself and worry about my own race and not worry about another athlete running it, and I'll be fine. I need to,
full disclosure here, I did not go through and update the honor roll on my website yet. Who's got the better times at each of those events this season right now?
She actually beat my time.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go. So you should be fired up too.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up on a break here. We're going to talk more Coronado track and the area meet that's coming up on Friday after this break on the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Coronado athletics. You're listening to the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back to the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I'm going to bring Alan back in here. I started talking to you, and we got all caught up. You were carrying things there for a while, but now we got to get Alan back involved. 10.26 is your fastest time in the 100.
Yes, sir.
Is that as fast personal best, or have you gone faster?
No, that's personal best.
You might have gone faster that day with the touchdown if they'd have been clocking you.
Yeah.
And 200, your personal best is 20.97?
Yes, sir.
Can you run those Friday at the area meet? Do you need to run those at the area meet? Do you feel like to punch a ticket to regionals?
No, not really. I just need to just qualify it. I'll be good. But regionals, I do, yeah.
Area round, the top 4 in individual and relays move on, and then it gets to, after that, it's just the top 2. I'm going to get both of you to talk about how confident you are, because you both got competition, people you know. How confident are you that you can, if we were talking here next Monday, you're talking about going to the regional meet?
I feel real confident. My body feel really great from how it was last year. Ended up pulling my hamstring during regional, so now I feel very great now.
I was there, and now that you said it, I remember that the kid from Lubbock Cooper, and you had the great competition going back and forth. Remind me his name. Cal Ritz.
Yeah,
Cal Ritz who was very, very fast, and he was looking forward to the head-to-head. And I remember watching you thinking that didn't look like it felt good.
Nah, and I felt out of shape last year, but now I feel great. I feel real great.
I'm curious to what your out of shape looks like. Pretty well put together. What about you? If we're talking next Monday, how confident are you that you've done what you need to do to keep running for another week at least?
Okay, so me and Coach was actually talking about this before we came, and how I feel like I haven't actually ran a race so where I like know that like I don't know how to put it, but like I haven't ran where I know
You've been too comfortable.
yeah, like I'm like comfortable and like I walk off the track and know like I did everything I could to win the race. I feel like I just been just running knowing that like, okay, I'm gonna win this race, and not actually going out there and like pushing myself to know like PR, because I haven't PR this year at all. But I feel very confident enough that I can advance onto regional and state. Like if I just go out there, run my race smart and be confident and not just like worry about like who I'm running with, instead of just going out there and just running and then walking off the track knowing that I did everything I could to win.
Because you have been to state 3 years in a row in cross country. Is that
Yes,
what we?
sir.
So you have that taste in the different part of the year. Did you go to state and track last year?
I went to state 10th grade year
Okay.
for the mile. That was it.
Okay. I knew you'd gone at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Amy, when you watch these two talk about that, the fact that I mentioned that we're to the last couple of chapters of their high school careers, what's their mindset need to be going into Friday? The weather, we talked about the weather. Weather's going to be good. They're going to get pushed by competitors they know. What do they have to do Friday to keep that going?
I know I've talked to both of them individually at certain times about don't look at the clock. Don't care about your times. You know, to me, yeah, we want to hit PRs. Yeah, we want to peak. But at this point, it's about placement. You know, it could be a bad weather day and Alan go out there and run a 10.8, but he's first, you know, or Z goes out there and runs a 2:22, but everyone ran slow. Like, don't get so set on your times. And I think both of them, you know, I've gotten to know Alan really well this year, and he's a total different kid than he was last year. He's hungry for it. He's ready for it. And Z's learned a lot from her mistakes. And, you know, shout out to Coach Cordes, who is one of my assistants and, you know, came from LCU, and he's been training Z really, really well. And so I've seen maturity in both of them. I think that they're really excited to leave Coronado hanging up their shoes on a high note, and then both going D1. They're in a really good place, and I think it's fun to watch. And I know they're going to leave it out on the track no matter what they do.
D1, where are you headed?
I'm going to University of Incarnate Word in San Antonio.
And Alan?
University of El Paso, UTEP.
Yeah, UTEP's a very unique campus.
Yes, sir.
You're going to play double sports?
I probably might.
Okay.
Yeah.
Football for sure.
Yeah.
You're going to defensive back?
Yes, sir.
Is that what they want you to play?
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty good at defensive back.
Yeah, and then punt return to kick return.
Yeah, yes, and maybe they can sneak you the ball.
Yeah, we'll see.
Troy did this year. So 5A includes all the Lubbock schools, all the Amarillo schools. What other?
We'll add
schools?
Abilene.
Okay, so you add Abilene, so there's a little bit different competition. I think we can figure out who both you guys' competition is coming up. We're going to have a couple of them coming in here tonight to talk. So Coronado heads to the area meet Friday afternoon, because you're not a 3,200 runner, at Plains Capital Park. Top 4 from there go to the regional meet. Top 2 from there go to the state meet. And we'll make a deal. If you guys are both still alive, running for us, and we'll get you back in, because you're all comfortable now, right? Here we go. We're going to come up on a break here. When we come back, we will be talking Matador Fan Zone after this break on 100.7 The Score on the High School Fan Zone.